the kids
they're
are
gonna
there right
stagger
now, they're
that
in transition
somehow, so
move. And those kids.
everybody's not on top of each other, but everybody's gonna be on top of each other. I mean, there's no way.
Top of this stuff.
And I'm just so pissed because we're gonna have
I'm like, Lord, you
6
don't have to keep those kids out.
And nobody complains.
I mean, they had to be off that mountain.
It's just, yeah.
That's right.
We will
It's just
call
happening
this
somewhere
meeting
else.
to order. And I think there's only one thing on the agenda, so we need to have a motion to go into a public hearing, right?
Yes.
I move we go into a public hearing.
Second.
We all agree? Okay.
Okay, and I will just briefly read what this public hearing is about. The council will hear public comment on a proposal to appropriate and expend town funds to create the Yancey County COVID-19 Small Business Relief Fund loan program, which will be a loan fund designed to be flexible and rapid source of low-interest loan capital to help Yancey County businesses meet pressing needs and navigate the COVID-19 crisis. The appropriation will be made in the amount of $25,000 to the Yancey County Economic Development Commission for the purposes of funding the program to be operated under the direction of the Economic Development Commission, consistent with guidelines to be set forth in an agreement between the town of Burnsville and the Yancey County Economic Development Commission, it should say. The Burnsville Town Council believes that the foregoing economic development appropriation will stimulate the local economy, increase the town's tax base and revenue, result in the creation of new and permanent jobs in the town, diversify the town's economy, and promote the general welfare of the town and its citizens. All persons interested in this incentive are invited to attend this public hearing and present their views. And I don't think we have anybody here.
Not unless Randall wants.
Randall, would you like to make a comment?
No?
Nobody? Nobody.
Nobody.
Okay. So,
So,
if there not being any public comment, all we need to do is close the hearing.
do I have a motion to close the hearing?
I make a motion.
Okay, second?
Second.
We're all in agreement.
Okay, the resolution and the budget amendment to appropriate this funding will be presented to you all at the June 4th regular business meeting.
I can tell you guys, since we're here, if you're interested to know where we are with it. Of course, the county made their appropriation last week. We deposited that into the loan account that we've set up in addition to EDC's appropriation, so we've 75 grand in there now. We've committed to 6 loans. Of those, 4 of them have been funded, closed, signed, checks cashed. 2 of them are pending funding now this week. We have a total of 9 applications. We have 3 more that are pending to begin with. I expect that, what I've told the county commission as well when they met, that having this in place as we go through the fall and winter is going to be useful to have this money set aside, because I still don't know that we will know where we are as far as realizing the complete impact to a lot of our smaller merchants and retailers until we see how much of the summer and early fall is salvaged, when we would usually have the bulk of our visiting business, if you will, tourists coming. So it may be that if we move toward fall and winter, you know, some businesses who have not borrowed may find the need to come and make application. And we still continue to have applications that we've received. Those are the ones that are complete. The 9 are complete and ready to be dealt with. One of them that was already funded has indicated that their SBA loan did come through, and they may pay that off early, which is what we hope to have happen with this fund. And we want it to be available to basically scotch people if they're having a tough run of it and can't find money to come to them quickly. I talked to somebody last week who said that they had applied for the PPP program, the EIDL program through SBA, hadn't got either one of them applied for unemployment and then got everything. So, you know, it's that when you're dealing with the federal government, sometimes you're not getting a rapid response, and I think having this so we can respond to these people quickly is.
What
It's
are
very
the
helpful.
terms, Jamie? What?
So we're doing a $5,000 cap. They're 36 months term, so 3-year loans. The first 6 months is at no payment. It accrues interest at 3.7%. We've established that interest rate because we're required, as Heather could tell you, by law to charge interest under certain guidelines. Both the state law and the state constitution require us not to compete with conventional lenders.
Right.
That 3.7% is basically what the IDL money through SBA is being lent at. So it's not a conventional banking rate, but it is a similar lending rate from another government institution. So we opted to set it at 3.7%. That 6-month deferment, if people find that that the emergency situation has you know, relieved itself, or their cash flow's kind of coming back to where it should be, or if they've applied for other lending that comes in, you know, we may have some people who may carry that loan to its full 36-month term, and we may have some folks who opt to pay it off in that 6-month deferment, and just go ahead and be done with it, which is good. We're, you know, glad to put that money in people's pockets while they need it,
Right.
for sure.
And those terms sound pretty good.
Are you
Yeah.
leaving that open till it's all gone? I mean, do you foresee it being?
So I think if we think ahead, the tacit agreement is sort of that we would establish it for a year, and then see,
I think that's in our contract.
yeah, what happens.
But I
with the
mean,
loan
if
program.
somebody paid that back early, that money goes back into that account.
Right. And could be lent again.
It could be lent again,
Mhm.
but you're gonna keep it to a 1-year period, you think?
We will. The individual funders at the end of that year can consider what they want to have happen with that. The county commission is sort of already had some conversation about leaving it intact as an emergency loan fund. So they may, with their appropriation, kind of restructure the terms of it and say, let's just leave it in place in case, God forbid, we have something else happen down the road. We wouldn't have to worry about appropriating money to it. We would have a pot of money. EDC would be my recommendation. Tire Board, when that time comes, to do the same thing. And of course, the town would have the option to do whatever you felt was appropriate for economic development purposes with that money moving forward. The interest rate that we're charging actually covers the expense of May Coalition administering this loan program for us, and still nets about 1% on top of that. So, you know, if these were carried to term and the interest accrued, then, you know, you're not only adding principal back, but you're adding additional funds to it.
Okay. Any comments, any questions? No?
Better go before Randall writes me a ticket.
Well, wait just a minute. We've not voted on this yet.
We've already voted.
No, we don't vote on
We don't
anything, not until the 4th.
Oh, that's right.
Not until the 4th,
Well, you
and
can
then
go.
we'll have the budget amendment and all that stuff.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
Russell?
motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Thank y'all.
I think
Thanks,
we're all in
folks.
agreement.
Thanks, Randall.